with a rocky history at the top. Don't go away. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
KITV4 Island Weather, sponsored by Kapili Roofing and Painting.
Protect your home from Hawaii's next severe weather event with a new roof from Kapili Roofing. Local, family-owned Kapili Roofing has been providing peace of mind one roof at a time for over a decade. From small repairs to large commercial re-roofing projects, Kapili Roofing has the knowledge and experience to install a roof you can count on for years. Ask about our GAF Master Elite warranty and how you can earn up to 40,000 Hawaiian Air miles with a new roof.
Kapili Roofing, building peace of mind, one roof at a time.
As a medical doctor in the Pacific Islander, I have decided to take the coronavirus vaccine, not only to protect myself and my family, but my patients and my community. This coronavirus pandemic is not slowing down. The Pacific Islander community has been severely impacted. Therefore, I urge all of you to please consider taking the vaccine because it will protect you, your loved ones, and your community.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So call 808-FARMERS and you could save an average of $366. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Call 808-FARMERS or visit farmershawaii.com for a quote today. That's 808-FARMERS.
In 1975, Frank and Grace Tamae started Ace Auto Glass. They believed that quality glass installed by caring people would produce the best results. 3 generations later, these values still hold true. Ace certified technicians still follow the highest safety standards with innovative technology to take care of you and your family. From our family to yours, thank you for making Ace Auto Glass Hawaii's leading automotive glass provider.
When you think of glass, think Ace Auto Glass.
Accurate and experienced KITV4's Island Weather Team. Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now in Good Morning Hawaii, shakeup at the Honolulu Police Department just days after a scathing review from the Police Commission. Chief Susan Ballard announces she's stepping down.
Plus, a new double mutant variant of coronavirus popping up on the mainland, why it's raising alarm bells for health officials here in Hawaii.
And is Waikiki becoming a maskless vacation spot? The new calls to step up enforcement in one of Oahu's most popular spots for visitors.
I will be retiring and stepping down as the chief of the Honolulu Police Department.
An unexpected announcement there by Honolulu Police Chief Susan Ballard coming after 36 years on the force. She's announcing she's stepping down. Good Morning Hawaii. Thanks for joining us for Hawaii's only weekend morning newscast. I'm Tom George.
Yeah, aloha, kakayaka. I'm Annalisa Burgos. Chief Ballard says on June 1st, she's walking away from the job she was hired to do back in November of 2017.
It's news that comes just 2 days after a critical review by the Honolulu Police Commission.
Chief Ballard cited a lack of confidence from both the Police Commission and Mayor Rick Blangiardi's administration as the main reasons she's retiring. But as KITV4's TJ Horgan reports, the mayor says that's not the case.
I did not lose confidence in the chief. In fact, all of my conversations with her in private since becoming mayor, I believe, have been very supportive.
Mayor Blangiardi disagreed with Chief Ballard's assertion that he wasn't supportive of her leadership.
And it has become increasingly clear that I no longer have the trust and support of the Police Commission and the new mayoral administration.
I don't understand that comment, to be honest, because I've done nothing but supportive of Chief Ballard and all of my dealings with her.
On Wednesday, the Police Commission released Ballard's performance evaluation, marking her as falling below expectations in the categories of leadership and management.
I do believe the Commission's evaluation this week was fair and accurate.
State of Hawaii Organization of Police Officers President Malcolm Lutu told KITV4 he was surprised by Ballard's announcement and disappointed to see her go.
For her time as chief, no other chief has gone through what she's gone through with the pandemic, with the budget cuts, with the economy the way it was. To me, she did a good job.
Former Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Megan Kao wishes Ballard stuck it out.
We are 2 females and a male predominant industry. And so I know it's difficult to rise to the top and to stay true to our beliefs. But I believe that Susan Ballard was that type of person like I am. And so I'm disappointed that she's not going to see it through all the way.
And that was KITV4's TJ Horgan reporting. When the search for Ballard's successors officially gets started, Mayor Blangiardi says he wants to have a, quote, very big say, end quote.
And some strong words from Honolulu City Council Chairman Tommy Waters. He says he got along with Chief Ballard, but acknowledges there were some things that could have been handled better.
Ultimately, there was the overtime problem, $38 million a year. We had a shortage of police officers, which we've been complaining about for a long time. We want more boots on the ground. We need to hire more police officers. And then the clearance rate was actually quite low. I think for violent crimes, we're talking about rapes and murders and robberies, was something like 25%. On property crimes, the clearance rate was somewhere about 8%. And these numbers came from the FBI, actually. So they were legitimate numbers. And you know, that falls on her shoulders. It falls on the shoulders of the chief.
And meanwhile, from police to the courts, prosecuting attorney Steve Alm also releasing a statement Friday thanking Chief Ballard for her more than 3 decades of service. He also noted that these are challenging times for police departments everywhere, saying, quote, "We look forward to maintaining a good working relationship with HPD and its new chief when she or he is appointed." All right, well, turning now to your weekend forecast. Here is a live look outside at Honolulu. Pretty calm out there right now. Let's island hop over to Maui to check in with meteorologist Malika Dudley. Hey, Malika.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is 52 degrees here in upcountry Maui. We've got a combo of high and low clouds, blue skies here. Let's take a look at the big picture and show you exactly what is happening out there. We have a high pressure system. It is way to the north, and we have a persistent low to the northeast. What that means for us is our winds are light to moderate and out of the northeast. Zooming in for a closer look at our winds, we have a definite northerly element to those winds. That's a cooler direction. So while they are light, it might not feel as sticky as a light and variable wind day. The farther south we go, the more likely it is to feel a little muggy because winds are expected to be lighter still. And of course, in our sheltered interior and leeward areas, we could see some afternoon clouds building as well. Satellite shows some high clouds skirting to the north of the state. Low clouds are pushing into typical windward and Mauka spots right now. Our radar is not too active, but we do see some moisture to the south of Kauai. There's some moisture moving into Kahakuloa area of Maui, and it looks like the Hilo Puna area has some light passing showers as well right now. Our cloud and rain forecast model is indicating that today is relatively dry. We do have the potential for afternoon convective activity in our leeward and interior areas if that sea breeze kicks up. As we move into the overnight hours and Sunday, that's when things are expected to change. Still a bit of uncertainty in the forecast, but the trend right now is for unsettled weather to begin to take hold. So Annalise and Tom will dive deeper into that situation in my next weather hit. Back to you.
All right, time now 7:06. Turning to your coronavirus news, the Department of Health reporting 87 new cases of COVID-19 across the state. 67 on Oahu, 11 on Maui, 4 on the Big Island, and 5 residents diagnosed while they were out of state. More than 1,300 cases right now presumed active.
The health department's also reporting 346 cases involving variants of COVID-19 across the state, more than 59% of that number being the California strain. 37 cases involving the UK variant and 7 cases of the variant from South Africa.
And the state is also keeping an eye right now on a new variant called the double mutant. It's similar to the California and the South African variant, and it's concerning because antibodies created through the vaccines or infections are less effective against this strain.
Strain is brand new and hasn't been studied. But I guess the ominous news is shortly after it was reported in India, it was also reported in California. And I guess we've seen that what happens in California comes fairly quickly here, like the California variant.
Yeah, so far not the case, though. Dr. Desmond says right now the new mutation has not been reported here in the islands.
And on Maui, Minute Medical is now accepting walk-ups for their War Memorial COVID-19 vaccination clinic between 1 and 3 this afternoon. That's because a lot of available appointments are available. You have to be 18 years or older with a state ID and insurance card. And if you don't have insurance, just bring your state ID. The clinic's open again from 1 to 3. We have all the information on our website, kitv.com.
We've all been in this for a year now. Like, it's not anything new. It's not like we're asking to do anything else crazy. It's something that's been in place for a while. So I feel like at this point, it's just more frustrating than anything.
Yeah, a lot of frustration there. You heard from a woman there concerned too many people continue to not wear their masks in Waikiki.
And the problem is people not wearing masks within the boundaries of the state's top tourist destination, and the growing frustrations among people wanting more enforcement in Waikiki alone. KITV4's Nicole Tam spoke with a woman who works in Waikiki and makes reminding people to mask up part of her daily routine.
Melissa Shannon works at Skin Deep Tattoo and Piercing Waikiki. She worries the lack of mask wearing will lead to another surge in COVID-19 cases.
I feel like Hawaii was on a really good track with the lower numbers and everything like that. And of course, when tourism did arrive, I'm seeing a lot less mask wearing, a lot more interactions, crowds.
And when somebody who isn't wearing a mask walks through her doors, Shannon is quick to explain the state mandate.
We have a lot of signage just to make it a little easier, so it's a physical thing for them to read before we approach and communicate with.
Shannon was so frustrated, she contacted State House Representative Adrian Tam. After receiving at least 24 calls like Shannon's over the past 3 weeks, Tam sent a letter to Honolulu's Chief of Police, Susan Ballard, asking for stricter enforcement.
I think HPD is doing what they can do. I'm not necessarily asking for them to give out tickets and fines. I'm just asking them to, kindly remind anyone without a mask to wear a mask.
To help, Tam believes more signs should be posted in hotels.
Everyone has to, contribute in some way and stay safe in some way so we continue to have low case numbers and be able to get to the next tier.
The Waikiki Improvement Association reports hotels are already educating guests. Association President Rick Agate also credits Aloha ambassadors for helping. It's a team of people dressed in neon green shirts, patrolling and reminding people to cover up.
We just need to increase the communication of the situation to our visitors.
As more COVID-19 vaccines are administered, Agate believes that will help prevent Waikiki from becoming a hotspot for the coronavirus.
Obviously, the goal is not to give out citations, but to get people to comply. And so I'm optimistic that we can continue these efforts to get more people wearing masks.
And that was KITV4's Nicole Tam reporting. HPD previously said enforcing mask guidelines puts a lot on officers because it's not popular within the community. Not to mention, it would require more overtime, and the department can't afford it.
And the Department of Health reports 92% mask compliance statewide based on a study observing nearly 16,000 people. According to state data, Kauai County has the lowest compliance at 84%. Hawaii County has the highest compliance at more than 96%.
Now, those are still pretty high compliance rates compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah,
more than 150,000 people traveled to and within the islands using the state's Safe Travels program this week. Nearly 82% of that number were visitors, and almost 6,000 people required quarantine. State data shows 25,000 more passengers are scheduled to travel today.
And the Department of Transportation is expecting that trend to continue. They're prepping for busy airports this summer. They're expecting a daily average of nearly 21,000 passengers. Now, to put that in perspective, that's about 70% of the numbers we saw before the pandemic. So more people coming in. And because of that, a recommendation from DOT to make sure you arrive early and expect long lines at security checkpoints.
All right, the time now, 7:12 a.m. A pioneer in reviving a revered Hawaiian tradition that almost was lost has passed away.
We'll hear from friends of Master Navigator and Hokulea Captain Chad Kalepa Babayan about the legacy he leaves behind. Those stories and more coming up. Don't go away. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I know it's your day off, but the meeting deadline got moved up. I know you've been
What
What are you doing? Look at your Central. It's got everything you want, and you can cut loose in it. Oh, and it's got all these fancy features, so I know it will help you stay safe. This is what I taught you. Never settle.
Thoughts?
Hey, I prepped Joe, and he's good to go.
Refuse to compromise. The 2021 Nissan Sentra. Get a low $199 per month lease on Sentra or get 0% financing for up to 84 months on 14 models.
Millions of people in this country suffer from something we call venous insufficiency. There are many symptoms, but the most serious are darkened skin in the lower leg and skin breakdown, something called venous ulceration. Ulcers do not stay healed with wound care alone. Evaluation and treatment of the venous circulation is imperative. Here at Vein Clinics of Hawaii, we offer safe and effective vein treatments to correct circulation problems and get you back on your feet again. Call today or visit us at veinclinicsofhawaii.com.
It's a fact. We use our internet and TV more than ever, with most of us spending nearly 7 hours a day online. So it's no wonder thousands of families are switching to Spectrum. Because most families have up to 8 connected devices, which means they need even more speed. Switch to Spectrum Internet and get the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits for just $44.99 a month, with a free modem and free security suite included. Call 643-1110. When it comes to TV, we're watching more than ever. In fact, 80% of us watch TV every day. Spectrum TV helps you stay in the know with exclusive local channels like OC16 and the Spectrum Surf Channel. Plus, download the free Spectrum TV app and watch on your devices. Switch to Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 643-1110. The fact is, Spectrum has the best services at the best price. Switch to Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. We'll even buy out your current contract. Call 643-1110.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
It inspired and trained young people to navigate their lives, to take the values that he lived by and make a better world.
Many people are mourning the loss of Master Navigator Chad Kalepa Baybayan, captain of the Hawaiian voyaging canoe Hokulea. Fellow Master Navigator Nainoa Thompson there earlier calls him one of the greatest ever in their craft. And over the years, Baybayan trained and mentored many generations of navigators. His legacy will be the work he did to preserve Hawaiian traditions and culture. For 50 years, Baybayan navigated the ocean and life with passion and conviction. He joined the Polynesian Voyaging Society in 1975 when he was just 19 years old. He sailed on all 8 major voyages on Hokulea.
That standard and bar of commitment to an extraordinary tradition called deep sea voyaging and navigation, to have young people know that he did everything that he could to become one of the few navigators on Earth, and then he committed to the unselfish acts of giving it to young people.
Lehua Kamalu is one of the many who called Baybayan a mentor.
The whole ocean community is thinking about him and his ohana right now. His students were his children and his mo'opuna, his grandchildren, and he was dedicated to them, every day.
He trained up a generation of people to be resilient, and to be strong and true and passionate about your convictions and sticking it through no matter how difficult things could be.
Kai'o Kimura is executive director of University of Hawaii at Hilo's Imiloa Astronomy Center, where Baybayan was navigator in residence, promoting indigenous science.
One word I think that I would say that embodies Kalepa is just kupa'a. Being steadfast and having strong convictions about his belief and pursuing those convictions to help realize them for the empowerment of our community.
When asked how Baybayan's death will impact Hokulea's next sail, the president of the Polynesian Voyaging Society, Nainoa Thompson, said he will always be with them.
With him not being on the deck, it's going to be different.
Different, but they will have a piece of him with them because the daughter, Kala, actually is taking up the mantle. She was the first student of Baybayan.
And so many other students since then, even his family and so many people that have learned from him. And just it's just so impressive when you think that, just navigating without any instruments and so much talent and skill, definitely going to be missed.
Yeah. Well, time now, 7:17 a.m. in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, just days after being hit by a car on the job, a road worker paying it forward, saving a man who was caught in a house fire in the Diamond Head area. That story and more coming up when we come back. Your time now, 7:17.
This segment of KITV4 Island News is sponsored by Food A Go-Go Restaurant Week.
Hey, I heard Food A Go-Go is doing the restaurant week. Where do you guys want to go first?
Wow, there are so many great restaurants to choose from. Everything from local grinds, fine dining, shabu-shabu, tacos. We can try a lot of different things.
Well, let's go. Food A Go-Go Restaurant Week starts on April 5th. Let's support our local restaurants.
Visit foodagogo.org to find participating restaurants and order the Food A Go-Go Restaurant Week special for dine-in or takeout.
Earned accident forgiveness included. Quality coverage included. Emergency towing included. Go Low savings included. Get the Go Low auto policy from Island Insurance. Call or click today.
My body is truly powerful.
I have the power to lower my A1C because my body can still make its own insulin.
And Trulicity activates my body to release it, lowering my blood sugar from the first dose. Once weekly Trulicity responds when my body needs it 24/7. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin.
It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include indigestion, fatigue, belly pain, decreased appetite, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to lower my A1C.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
You never know when something bad could happen or something like this.
Yeah, a Good Samaritan in the right place at the right time to help rescue a man and two pets from a burning home.
And just 2 days after getting hit by a car on the job in Diamond Head, Kapahulu, Troy Williams was back at work, this time saving someone's life.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday, really sprung into action there. A home near Aloha Avenue and James Street caught fire around 9:30 Friday morning. Williams jumped in to help that man, his cat, and dog escape. Luckily, they were the only ones inside. Crews were able to put out that fire just a couple hours later. Williams is also a former Marine, and he says his instincts kicked in.
I do the best with what I got, and these kind of times and these kind of days, not a lot of people have very much, so I try to do with what I got. I guess I was enough for today, and I felt good to save a life.
And the fire luckily didn't spread to any other homes. The neighbors say, though, they are worried because homes in the area are mostly made of wood and they're clumped close together, so there was a worry that fire could have spread. The Honolulu Fire Department sent 10 trucks to the scene. No word yet on what caused that fire, although arson has been ruled out.
And I saw earlier the cat just chilling, well-behaved cat there, even after a tragedy like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn now to weather. Here's a live look on Oahu's windward side. Beautiful skies. Let's island hop over to Maui to see how your weekend is shaping up. Malika, how's it looking?
Good morning, Annalisa. Good morning, Tom. It is cold up here. We got up 1 degree, so it's 53 in upcountry Maui. Spring is here. You can see the silver oak is blooming, and here's a beautiful shot of a jacaranda in full bloom from upcountry Maui. Thank you to Wayne for sending this one in. Just gorgeous. Today, we'll see a lot of that, so it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. We'll have some morning showers in Windward and Mauka areas, and it looks like Our leeward spots will get lots of sunshine early on, but because winds are light and instability is expected to increase this afternoon, we could see some clouds building for interior and leeward areas. Showers could be briefly heavy if this convective activity develops. Starting our day pretty chilly. It's all relative, of course, but with the winds out of the northeast, that is a cooler direction. Our rainfall forecast model not picking up on much for today. However, at the end of this 24-hour loop, you can see an increase in moisture appearing to the north. We do expect a period of unsettled weather possible tonight through Monday as a disturbance passes over the state, bringing the potential for thunderstorms and a few locally heavy downpours. The highest likelihood timing-wise for the heavy weather has chances increasing tonight, peaking Sunday and dropping off as we move into Monday. We could even see winter weather for the summits of Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, and even potentially Haleakala. So we'll keep an eye on that situation, of course, and bring you the latest. It looks like drier weather should work its way into the forecast in the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, and then another front is possible for the end of the week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Malika. Well, turning now to the big story on Oahu right now. The fallout continues this morning as Honolulu's police chief Susan Ballard suddenly announced she's retiring in June. Now, this all comes just days after the police commission gave Ballard a negative annual review questioning her management and her leadership. So what does this mean and what's next? Joining us live this morning to weigh in, we have UH Law Professor and co-director of the Innocence Project here in Hawaii, Ken Lawson. We appreciate you being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, first of all, your reaction to all this, of course, you've been following the department for a while. Susan Ballard was, of course, chosen more than 3 years ago to replace Louis K. Aloha, who, of course, was caught up in a big corruption scandal. So initially, there was really a lot of hope that maybe she would be a breath of fresh air, that we would turn the page. Of course, the first female chief. So kind of how did we get to this point?
Tom, you're absolutely right. I mean, I sat through and followed the K. Aloha case for years, sat through that entire trial, and when Chief Ballard was hired as the new chief to replace Louis, I think there was a lot of hope in me and throughout the community and throughout our state that, a change needed to be made. This is a change going in a positive direction. And I think that's the sad thing about this, because she's just been so disappointing on several fronts. I mean, it was recently reported that the crime-solving record of HPD is the worst it's been in 40 years. The feds are investigating HPD under her leadership for the CARES Act funds that was spent so carelessly on stuff like a training simulator for a scenario and a robot dog that cost $800,000 and millions of dollars on vehicles. And at the same time, the crime rate, like I just said, is the highest it's been in 40 years. And it's been a lack of transparency. So there's a lot of reasons that I think that the commission had been, kind of actually just being fed up with her, to be honest. I think there's a lot of stuff that was going on in the department that the public started getting a little angry. The commission started getting angry. And I think that their report that they came out with, their evaluation was extremely critical of the chief, is what generated her resigning.
And you mentioned that lack of transparency too. I mean, across the country, there was just kind of a reckoning, especially last year in the wake of, social justice movements. And I think there was that one quote that she said, kind of sort of saying that maybe Hawaii doesn't have a problem with that. And just there have been recent, of course, officer-involved shootings. It's hard to get, any kind of statement or even a video. I mean, has that kind of played into this as well?
Absolutely. I mean, because again, what she kept saying to everybody is there's nothing to look at here, and there is something to look at. We have a lot of police shootings, especially when it comes to automobile shootings and the person isn't armed or there's no guns found at the scene and individuals are being killed. We had officers who made a homeless man lick a urinal. I mean, there's problems here. And I think part of the issue is that the chief, any good police chief, right, will at least admit, yeah, we can improve in this area, that area, whatever. We can improve on our use of force. We can improve our best practices and police pursuit policies, et cetera. Here, though, no matter what she was asked, she would always deflect and refuse to admit that, yes, we do have an issue, but we're working on this, we're working on that. And so when she would go before the commission, they would ask her a question. She would either deny an answer or just basically state that this case is under investigation. And I think I think the commission was becoming extremely frustrated from the lack of transparency. You know, just take a couple of days ago, right? We had a 16-year-old kid killed in a police pursuit. And she was before the commission the same date that she received her evaluation and was asked about the progress of that investigation. And she said she could not report on anything. The investigation is pending. It may take 2 months. Now, that's unheard of. If you look at any police shooting or any case throughout the United States where there's been an excessive force or there's just been a police shooting, someone dies in police custody, that police chief and others will get and do a press conference and address the public to update them as soon as they can. And for whatever reason, Chief Ballard just refused to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ken Lawson, we appreciate it. I know those are, some qualities that the mayor has kind of echoed in terms of the next chief. So definitely going to be paying attention to that. We always appreciate your insight. Thanks so much, Ken.
All right. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. All right, we're off for a break. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back with your top headlines coming up.
Digital news on demand, KITV.com.
Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex.
Termites.
I'm hanging on.
Don't mess up your deck with Tex-Mex. Terminex. Aye, the only way to nix it is to Terminex it.
Your health is more important than ever. State, city, and county workers join more than 700,000 members who trust HMSA. With an HMSA plan, you can see a doctor or therapist online from the comfort and convenience of home. If you need in-person care, you can choose from high-quality doctors in Hawaii's top-rated hospitals or visit urgent care clinics across the state. Open enrollment is from April 1st through the 30th. To learn more, call us or visit hmsa.com/EUTF.
Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union. Here for all your money needs. Here for life.
Trust isn't built in a day. It's built over time. The early hours and the late nights. It's built by doing the work and pushing the limits every day. Because the promises we make are the promises we were built to keep.
During Ram Truck Month, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $3,000 total bonus cash on the 2021 Ram 1500 Bighorn. Visit ram.com and see your local Ram dealer for this great offer.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back, everybody. The time now, 7:30 a.m. on Saturday. Happy good morning, April 10th, the date today.
All right, well, this is we always forget what day is it anymore in this pandemic. This is a live look out at Hilo Bay right now. Nice out there. Meteorologist Malika Dudley standing by, joining us from Maui with your weather forecast. What day is it? What temperature is it? We don't know. Well, fill us in.
Happy Saturday. I only know what the weekends are because those are the only days that I work on. But it is now 59 degrees here in upcountry Maui, so we are definitely warming up. Thank goodness it was freezing this morning. Here are your weather highlights for this Saturday morning. All right, so today we expect light northeast winds, which will also allow for some afternoon sea breezes to develop and nighttime land breezes. That means afternoon clouds for lee and interior spots. spots and clearing at night. Where radiational cooling takes hold, it could get quite chilly as well. Later tonight and into Sunday is our transition day, which brings increasing chances of unsettled weather. The highest chances on Sunday with possible thunderstorms and heavy rain, maybe even winter-type weather for the summits of Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, and Haleakala. Monday, instability will trend down, but we could still see some lingering showers. Our current temperatures are in the 60s. Burr, 62 for Wahiwa, 65 for Lanai City, 66 for Hilo Town, as well as Kahului, 67 for Lihue and Kapolei. Current winds coming out of that northeasterly direction, single digits for many of our airport locations that you see here. And that should be the trend. We're looking at light and variable winds with a little bit of that northeasterly element. So that is a cooler direction, fortunately, to help cool us off. But, you know, the trend here is not for any very strong winds, at least in the near future. We might see winds picking back up in the Monday time frame as we head into Tuesday. That's also when we would see the drier weather taking hold. As we get into the second half of the work week, we could see another front making its way into the forecast, which could bring us another increase in showers for the end of the week as well. But of course, for the immediate future, we're looking at this tonight into tomorrow time period with unsettled weather becoming an increasing concern. Back to you.
All right, turning to your pandemic news now. States are revising their vaccination plans because of slowdowns with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
ABC's Trevor Alt reports this slowdown is now affecting college students and service members who are overseas.
This morning, states across the country prepping for a massive drop in supplies of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Availability set to plummet 85% this coming week, and it's not expected to recover until federal regulators approve manufacturing at a Baltimore plant where millions of doses were contaminated.
We've known for some time that there would be ups and downs on the road.
And in 4 states, vaccination sites temporarily stopped giving the Johnson & Johnson shot after a small number of people experienced adverse reactions. Overnight, Colorado transitioning 3 drive-up mass vaccination events to Moderna and Pfizer only.
These were very mild adverse reactions, and the CDC actually came out with a statement in the evening saying that the vaccination should resume.
But appointments and shipments are already being canceled, impacting U.S. service members overseas and college students here at home, some of which are required to be vaccinated before returning to campus in the fall and like the convenience of the one-shot jab.
I think it's pretty good that it's one shot so they can finish it pretty easily.
While schools like Syracuse University in New York have enough vaccines right now, shipments to the state are expected to drop dramatically next week. And with fewer Johnson & Johnson appointments available across the country, some students are scrambling to get the Pfizer or Moderna shots, which require 2 separate doses.
I know some students were concerned about being able to make a second appointment with the end of the semester coming up.
That added strain coming as COVID-19 cases surge in states like Michigan, where hospital admissions have skyrocketed.
Michigan is unquestionably a national hotspot right now. My team and I have been in regular conversation with the national COVID response team, and we have asked for more vaccines.
But at least right now, the federal government is saying no.
The fair and equitable way to distribute the vaccine is based on the adult population by state, tribe, and territory.
And that was ABC's Trevor Alt reporting. Because of that delay, Hawaii is receiving far fewer doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which also means fewer appointments available. Now, this week, the state is scheduled to receive more than 21,000 doses, but next week, that number is expected to drop by nearly 90%. That could increase vaccination traffic for the federal retail pharmacy program, which currently includes about 100 drug stores across the state.
That there are pharmacies probably in your neighborhood where you can get a vaccine very soon. That's a great opportunity, and people should do that before the floodgates open to everybody. If you're eligible now, please go ahead and take advantage of the opportunity.
Hawaii received its first batch of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on March 3rd, and since then, the total is now more than 45,000 doses. The health department expects supply to come up short of demand for at least 2 weeks.
So where exactly are things right now when it comes to the vaccine in Hawaii? We're taking a quick look at your COVID-19 vaccinations in the state. More than 906,000 doses. You see the number right there. That's how many have been administered statewide. So inching closer to that million mark. Now, those are the doses administered throughout the state, the Department of Defense, the Veterans Administration, and the Federal Retail Pharmacy Program. So to break it down by county, Kauai County's leading vaccination efforts, they have 40% of all residents getting at least one dose, while that number on Oahu only 29%. And Governor David Ige said he signed his 19th emergency proclamation because of the coronavirus.
Now that's a new exemption allowing vaccinated travelers to bypass quarantine with proof that they're fully vaccinated. And here's what else you need to know about COVID-19. That exemption actually only goes into effect if it's approved by the Director of Hawaii Emergency Management Agency. So far, he has put a hold on that. It also extends the eviction moratorium and the expiration dates of drivers' licenses, permits, and state IDs until the proclamation ends on June 8th.
And meanwhile, Pfizer wants to expand the age eligibility for its COVID-19 vaccine. They're asking the Food and Drug Administration to allow kids between 12 and 15 to get a shot. Right now, it's only approved for people age 16 and older. Pfizer claims their initial clinical trials show the vaccine is 100% effective in the 12 to 15 age group. The Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson vaccines are only authorized for adults.
And we know that you can travel if you're fully vaccinated. You might want to consider this place, Malta. If you've ever wanted to go there, now's the time. They actually are trying to revive its tourism industry. Malta is willing to pay people to visit, offering up to 200 euros, and that's around $238. But you must come and stay for at least 3 days.
Looks pretty nice over there. It's actually, a beautiful island in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. All right. Well, switching gears, the Pearl City community is looking for volunteers to help with a massive cleanup of Sunset Memorial Park Cemetery today. That's happening now through 4 in the afternoon. The cemetery has fallen into disrepair, and families of those buried there say that the crypts have been broken into and desecrated. A nonprofit now has been set up to help. So if you're looking for something to do today, that may be a good way to give back to the community. All right, time now, 7:39 a.m. One of the pioneers and pillars of the voyaging canoe Hokulea, Chad Kalepa Baibayan, has passed away.
Yeah, we talked to the family spokesperson about carrying on his legacy of preserving Hawaiian traditions and navigating. That interview coming up. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii.
The news doesn't stop.
And neither do we. Fast and accurate information is our top priority.
Covering breaking news on all the islands. Your authority on breaking news is KITV4 Island News.
At Revive Men's Health, we don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. We're focused on you, whether you have low testosterone, ED, or other wellness concerns. Our men's health specialists will work with you to build a tailored plan based on clinically proven treatments, because the best medicine is customized, like a well-made suit. With treatments designed just for you to improve your performance. Make an appointment today, 529-0000, with Revive Men's Health by Universal Men's Clinic.
The ups and downs of frequent mood swings can take you to deep depressive lows, or give you unusually high energy even when depressed. Overwhelmed by bipolar 1? Ask about Vraylar. Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar effectively treats depression, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults. Full spectrum relief for all bipolar 1 symptoms with just one pill once a day. Elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol and weight gain, high blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, may occur. Movement dysfunction, sleepiness, and stomach issues are common side effects. When bipolar 1 overwhelms, Vraylar helps smooth the ups and downs.
It's going to be a great day. We've got those trades returning today. Surf is also up for the North Shores, 8 to 12. We've got blue skies in a lot of different areas. It's gorgeous here.
For the most accurate and up-to-date surf and weather conditions, turn to KITV4 Island News. This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Let's start this part of the segment with the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, where they've had a second volcanic eruption.
Right now, thousands have been ordered to leave the area, but as ABC's Julia McFarland reports, the eruptions are complicating the evacuation process.
Overnight, dramatic images from the island of St. Vincent. The Caribbean nation's disaster management agency confirming a second explosive eruption. The long-dormant volcano awakening, blasting giant clouds of ash into the sky. Officials saying plumes are rising above 25,000 feet. Homes covered in ash as thousands of people are forced to evacuate.
I hear this loud explosion. I hear that smoke start to go up in the air. So, you know what I mean? I just get panic and just, you know what I mean? Just tell my brother, just let me go.
But the eruptions are complicating the evacuation process. This ferry unable to get into the evacuation zone due to low visibility.
Yeah, the ash is falling. Can't see anything.
The ashfall itself, if it gets wet, it forms like a cement type of texture and materials.
The volcano, known as La Soufrière, has been quiet for decades, but began showing signs of activity just a few months ago. Then, on Friday, an early morning eruption, followed by a second just hours later.
There'll be periods of pauses in between where nothing might happen, but the entire length of the eruption for the last weeks to months.
And that was ABC's Julia McFarland reporting. And we know about volcanoes here.
Yeah, especially the Big Island, Kilauea, and then even the recent lava flow there. So definitely thinking of our friends there in the Caribbean. And Malika, the good news: no VOG, no eruptions on the radar. But we do want to kind of check on your weather. How's it looking out there?
It's not looking too bad. Right now in the upcountry Maui area, we've got blue skies. There's a combo of high and low clouds. It is now 60 degrees. We've gained another 2 degrees. So it is starting to warm up. Let's take a look at your marine alerts. And today, guess what? There are none, which is very rare. I haven't seen this in quite a while. And our surf forecast as far as numbers go, well, we've got 3 to 5 foot faces for north and east shores, 2 to 4 for south shores, and 1 to 3 for west shores. There isn't much variability by island. It looks like east shores are going to drop probably to about 1 to 3 by this afternoon. We have a south shore swell filling in over the weekend. A west-northwest is forecast to build late Sunday, and our high tide is at 3:44 p.m. at 1.4 feet. So just keep all of that in mind. We do have northeasterly winds from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Our swell tracker not showing much, but you do see that west-northwest filling in, and our 8-day forecast showing us that, well, it looks like today is not too bad. A little bit of a mixed bag because instability is expected to increase later on today. We could see some afternoon clouds and showers for interior and leeward spots, especially those sheltered areas. And as we get into tomorrow, we could see thunderstorms and heavy rain. So just keep that in mind. We'll be back right after the break.
Paul Drew's Weekend Evenings.
Ali, don't you drive an Elantra?
I do, Sydney. But look at this 2021 Elantra, the North American Car of the Year. It's awesome.
So come to Tony Hyundai at our beautiful Autoplex and discover why so many people give our Hyundais 2 thumbs up.
They say times are hard, but that won't stop me.
It's my time.
Time to learn.
Time to go to college.
Hard times shouldn't get in the way of your time.
Visit collegeiswithinreach.com. Find out how to apply to college and receive financial aid for next fall. It's your time.
Our business revolves around one-on-one physical in-person training, and all of a sudden that gets taken away. You have that moment of panic, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Without stress, you can't have growth. I think when COVID hit, there was a lot of confusion, and it was comforting to know that we had a really good relationship with Hawaii National Bank.
If we had any questions, they were super quick to answer, and they were constantly keeping in contact with us, so that was really helpful.
Millions of people in this country suffer from something we call venous insufficiency. There are many symptoms, but the most serious are darkened skin in the lower leg and skin breakdown, something called venous ulceration. Ulcers do not stay healed with wound care alone. Evaluation and treatment of the venous circulation is imperative. Here at Vein Clinics of Hawaii, we offer safe and effective vein treatments to correct circulation problems and get you back on your feet again. Call today or visit us at veinclinicsofhawaii.com.
You are a superstar. Precise, determined, immaculate. 2 pans, 14 plates, 12 glasses, 6 bowls, 32 pieces of silverware, and Tutu's favorite beer stein. A miraculous performance of efficiency. You are an energy champion. Well done, sir. Well.
What are you doing?
What? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Be an energy champion. Learn how at hawaiienergy.com/champion.
Ooh. Diana Coe, weekend evenings.
Many are mourning the passing of Master Navigator Chad Kalepa Baybayan. He was 65. He served as captain of the famous voyaging canoe, Hokulea, and spent nearly 50 years of his life working with the Polynesian Voyaging Society. Considered one of the pioneers and pillars of his craft, he educated and trained people across the world in traditional Polynesian wayfinding, reviving the art of navigating without instruments. And according to family spokesperson Kai'u Kimura, Baybayan died suddenly from natural causes while visiting Ohana in Seattle, Washington. I spoke to Kimura, executive director of the University of Hawaii at Hilo's Imiloa Astronomy Center, about the legacy Baybayan leaves behind.
Kalepa's loss is tremendous. Leaves a huge gap in our community. He mentored and taught and reached so many young people, myself included, and he just had this real big passion for sharing his ike, his knowledge, his expertise, and raising up a strong young generation to continue leadership within our Hawaiian community. He wasn't just a great navigator and leader on the water. He was a great navigator and leader on land, and really made it his life's passion and work to help be a mentor and a teacher to so many in the community, both, here locally in Hawaii, and also literally across the world. He has connections all over this world that he made through Malamo Honua and that he made through other efforts bringing science and culture together and being a true advocate for that. And so, he embodied such great leadership, and being fluent in the Hawaiian language, could traverse through different perspectives and always representing Hawaii and his Hawaiian heritage wherever he went.
What do you think you'll miss most?
Kalepa is very passionate, in what he believes in and the work that he does. And so sometimes real po'opakiki, he could be real stubborn, but it was always for his community and for what he believed in. And he was very, very passionate about being on the water, about being a navigator and wayfinder in his community, about Hawaiian language, and about really advancing our Hawaiian ways of knowing, our Hawaiian traditions.
Thank you. Anything else you want to share about his memory?
He will be sorely missed. We are committed to continuing his work of educating future generations about the wealth and applicability of our Hawaiian ike, our ancestral knowledge of wayfinding, to the ongoing pursuit of new knowledge to benefit our community and our Hawaii. And I think that's the main legacy that, a strong part of the legacy that Kalepa leaves for all of us and future generations.
And the family thanks the public for all of their support and aloha they've received and for respecting their privacy during this difficult time. We're off for a break. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Accurate and experienced KITV4's Island Weather Team.
I didn't realize I spent this much.
Hello.
Hey, Dad. I need help paying some of my bills.
Don't you think it's time you got your debt together?
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Corral all your debts into one easy-to-manage low payment with a Debt Roundup loan today.
Managing type 2 diabetes? You're on it. Staying fit and snacking light? Yep, on it there too. You may think you're doing all you can to manage type 2 diabetes and heart disease. But could your medication do more to lower your heart risk? Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And it lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Ted, you're a direct diamond importer here in Hawaii. Tell me about the process.
I receive parcels of diamonds from our partners in Israel, the diamond capital of the world. And I have a team of 3 amazing gemologists. This is how we pick the highest quality diamonds with the most sparkle. Then we send these diamonds off to GIA to get certified. By eliminating the middleman and having 3 diamond experts on hand, this is what makes Pacific Diamond Hawaii's #1 choice for buying loose diamonds.
Disbelief that I made it when I rode out of it. I was like, most of the time I kind of fall because I do something wrong.
Fresh off catching this ridiculous aerial reverse at the Rip Curl Newcastle Cup in Australia, 4-time World Surf League champion and Honolulu's own Carissa Moore soared into the top spot in the world and Friday cruised to the finals, took on rising star and home Aussie favorite Isabella Nichols in the first event since December's Maui Pro. Moore continued her dominance in the sport for her 24th win on the championship tour.
Oh my gosh, it feels amazing. I don't know what I expected coming into this week, but I was just taking it heat by heat, and it feels so good to be standing #1 at the end of this contest.
With her 24th, Moore is now tied for 3rd on the all-times wins list.
The babyface assassin, Nainoa.
Pride of the West Side, Makaha's own Nainoa Dung with the unanimous decision win in Bellator 256. His first victory since July of 2019, defeated Izzy Williams, who was making his Bellator debut. Busted nose, no problem, improves to 4-2 in his MMA professional career. Top-ranked UH men's volleyball got an Aloha Friday win over Cal State Northridge. Now just a Saturday victory away from clinching the Big West regular season title.
Goes to the back for Cal, left side Galloway, and that'll do it for set 2.
It was headed towards an easy 3-set victory for the top-ranked team in the country, 25-17, 25-20, but then the Matadors forced a set 4, 25-23, but the Rainbow Warriors improved to a perfect 12-0. It was game, set, match in that 4th set at 25-19. Guilherme Voss was perfect on his kill attempts, 7 for 7 in the win, a match-high 17 for Rocket Rado Parapunov. Saturday afternoon, the Big West regular season title on the line at 1 Hawaii time. The Rainbow Warriors baseball team was trailing 5-1 headed into the 7th inning. Riverside was on their way to handing UH their 9th loss in the last 10 games. Then it was time to play. Scotty Scott got it started 5-3 after the 7th inning. Then Cole Kaler smashing it up the middle for the 2 RBI single. 5-5, now tied with Riverside. Adam Fogel smoked it. The go-ahead double, 2 runs will score, while pitcher Tyler Dybel closed the door. The Rainbow Warriors came away victorious 7-5. Rainbow Wahine softball also winners 10-6 over Cal Poly.
Bouncer shortstop. Kill is there, and the Padres at long last make history.
San Diego's Joe Musgrove with the first no-no of the 2021 MLB baseball season, the first in Padres franchise history. 3-0 the final. Former Turtle Bay pro Tony Finau was on the move in Masters Round 2, shot up 25 spots. He is now tied for 6th at 4 under, just 3 strokes back of the leader, who is still Justin Rose. Despite struggling for much of his round, he is still up a stroke after shooting an even 72. Defending champ Dustin Johnson missed the cut. Cody Krupp, KITV4 Island Sports.
And a quick reminder, Hawaii County's Emergency Rental Assistance Program opens to the public on Monday at 8 in the morning. Mayor Mitch Roth expects to help about 3,400 households pay their rent and utilities for up to 12 months. The program is open to Hawaii Island residents who are at least 18 years old, lost income to the pandemic, and if you're living alone, make less than $48,000. And we posted a link to the application page on our website, KITV.com. Well, today happens to be a big day for people, and you can actually use it to socially distant hug your brother or text your sister. And that's because
it is National Sibling Day, the day celebrated annually to honor none else but siblings, your brothers and sisters. The best way to celebrate, of course, spending time together, but of course with the pandemic, that could also be virtual. And here are some Good Morning Hawaii sibling pairs. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, there's me and my sister Katie there. That's at an Orioles game there. That is my dad in the background. It wasn't just some rowdy fan.
Photobombing you.
Yeah.
There's Malika and her sister. And then there's my children, because I happen to be an only child, so I don't have a sibling.
So you have no siblings. I have one sibling. Malika has more than one. She said guess which one was the oldest from that picture. I don't know if we can pull it back up again. All right, I guess we'll never know. But
well, we see her two children are siblings. There we go.
Our favorite siblings right there, Jackson and Vai from Maui.
I'm the oldest, and these two have been fighting all the way up until you pulled this on camera, so.
With new extended hours at all 5 locations to serve you, there's no diner finer than Big City Diner, providing closed captioning for KITV4 Island News.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I know it's your day off, but the meeting deadline got moved up.
What are you doing? Look at your Central. It's got everything you want, and you can cut loose in it. Oh, and it's got all these fancy features, so I know will help you stay safe. This is what I taught you. Never settle.
Thoughts?
Hey, I prepped Joe, and he's good to go.
Refuse to compromise. The 2021 Nissan Sentra. Get a low $199 per month lease on Sentra, or get 0% financing for up to 84 months on 14 models.
Now is the time to cut down on your electric bill. SCIDA, Hawaii's only licensed local construction roofing and solar company, has got you covered. Your one-stop solution for your roofing and solar needs with less hassle. We have 0 down financing options and interest rates as low as 1.99%. Our batteries even have a 25-year warranty. Hurry soon, because those tax credits are running out at the end of 2021. We have a limited install availability, so give us a call at 808-862-2698 or visit skydahome.com for more info.
Save time, save money, and improve your ride with 0% financing on new Hondas at Tony Honda. Now drive a new 2021 Civic LX sedan for just $199 a month. $199 a month.